Ich bin deine Pussycat. Küss mich, kleiner Tiger.
Meowdy, y'all. Hi. Today we will be going over hopefully the last drama video on this channel. Yes, I mean it when I say the last. I've already made free videos on the Friday Night Fun community and what they've done to me. I've already made free videos on Chicken Little Rehatched and the creepy director. So there's only one more video to make to complete the trio of videos on Hololive, particularly Safa Atrushi, also known as IraqiMenace online, as I do want to talk about what she has done to me and the lies she has spread that has caused quite a bit of issues for me. So let's get started. Safa Atrushi, how I met her and how our relationship ended, as this might explain a few people who have been going into my straw page recently asking about my association with her and the like. But I'll just say how we became associated and why we stopped associating in the first place. Okay, so Safa contacted me while I was being harassed by the Friday Night Funkin' community, particularly because she had issues with somebody that I had issues with in the past. This person was Claire Ame Spencer, also known as Your Clary Godmother, an evangelical Christian, French, Irish, British creator who is no longer a voice actor or singer, but I do believe she sometimes comes online just to talk about drama or politics. But at this time, we both did similar stuff. I still do covers and voice acting and the like, but I do not really talk about politics, at least not on my main, as I prefer to stay away from those topics. And Safa told me via email, she found my email via my YouTube channel, and well, she basically asked me if we could talk on Discord about our experiences with Claire. And she wanted to make a video at that point about Claire. Claire and her friends struck it down, but that's a different story. And after that, she and I decided to become friends because we saw we had some similar interests. She got me back in The Black Butler, which I think I've mentioned before. We talked a lot about like Disney, anime, our lives, that kind of stuff, you know, the usual. However, some weird stuff started happening as time went on. I feel like it might have kind of been my fault considering I became friends with her all because we hated the same person. But she started kind of pulling away from me, which I can understand. But she started acting really suspiciously. I think it was because she became friends with somebody I do not like, known as Bunny Slasher, who I mentioned in the Friday Night Funkin' video. She spearheaded a harassment campaign against me, as Bunny Slasher was also associated with Claire May in the past. And when she did, she started to share some personal info about me, which I was like, why'd you do that, considering Bunny was using it against me? And she told me it was to give Bunny context. And I know she was acting a little bit shifty. I don't really know how to describe it, but I don't know, I was starting to get a bit of a bad feeling. Admittedly, I was a bit clingy, and that's just kind of how I am with friendships, and I won't say that's her fault, but later I found out that she had been using me this whole time. And this was where it gets bad. She apparently had been using me because she thought that the drama surrounding me was funny at the time, which really sucks. I really did consider her a good friend. We had a lot of fun together, and I confided with her about quite a few things. And that was a huge mistake, as we'll get into a little bit later. But yeah, we had a fallout in like late March of last year. It's been about a year by now. And she got her friend, who's, by the way, in her 30s and the mother, to yell at me, somebody who could be her niece. Keep in mind, I was about 20, 21 at the time, and this woman was like 32 or 33. I don't know. As I already talked about in my previous Safa video, she's friends with another person in their 30s who have a child and dedicate their lives to Shotokan porn in a shitty SebaCL server that, by the way, as I already mentioned, promoted real-life pedophiles and zoophiles. Yeah, I'm not going to get into it again, though, because I already covered that nightmare in the previous one. Okay, so let's more talk about after this fallout and the whole Hololive situation. So after this fallout, she started stalking me incessantly. She saved every link to any profile I ever had, including ones from my childhood, one of which had inappropriate photos of me that my groomers took of me. And she shared them all in the doc and to her friends to make fun of them. And she was planning to try to make a doc on me using this info as well as personal info from my family. And funnily enough, this doc got shared accidentally, and she basically doxed herself with the doc. It was pretty amusing, but I'm just going to say this right here, right now. It caused me to have a small relapse. I did not want to remember that stuff. And the lie she pushes most of all was that I was in Hololive. You know, the biggest VTuber company in the entire world. She has been claiming that I am a skinny Japanese girl and that I have been working in Hololive, but I was dropped for my dislike of the game FNF. It's low-key funny when you think about it, but honestly, I think I can't really say much more about it. In both of my previous streams covering her, well, this is a video, which is much shorter, not a stream, I have explained and shown proof that I was never in Hololive. When I was 18 years old, back in May of 2022, I auditioned for Hololive, but I did not even make it past the first round, as I cannot speak a lick of Japanese. And with that in mind, she has tried to use the fact that I am in an elementary Japanese class to say that I am fluent in Japanese. This is not the case. I would not be taking this class if that's just true. But I believe all that can really be said is this. Safa is a lying emotional abuser. She saves CSEM of little girls. She lies about big Japanese companies. And she tried to unironically claim that I am a skinny Japanese girl wearing a makeup and bodysuit to LARP as a fat European woman. Safa, if you are watching this, please go to hell. You have caused me so much pain. Going forward, though, all I can really say is I never want to be associated with this excuse of a woman. I use that word very lightly again. And bye!